So I have a question. Have you ever felt like you were being pulled in 10 different directions in your practice and then actually just chasing trends and comparing yourself to others only to feel stuck once again? If you have answered yes to that question, I just want to let you know you're not alone. I've been going through the same exact thing, really trying to make sure that what I'm doing for my practice is going to be sustainable. Between now and the end of 2025, we're going to be locking in and not just watching everybody else win, but we're going to be building sustainable, profitable practices while also ensuring that we're creating a life that is fulfilling, enjoyable, and gives us the freedom that we all truly desire. Oftentimes, we get very distracted by everything that's happening. Should we do more marketing? Should we do more networking? Should we do blogs? Whatever the case is, what should we do? It's sometimes hard to really figure that out because there are so many different layers to building a profitable practice and a sustainable practice as well. Now, the thing is, a lot of the suggestions that you're probably getting from, like, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, because it's pretty much everywhere, right? Even in the books, a lot of those things are accurate. So I'm not really here to say that you shouldn't follow through with any of those things that you've been seeing. But the reality is that we can't do everything all at one time. And that's one thing that I have definitely struggled with. When you're focusing on so many different things at the same time, a lot of things fall through the cracks and you're not able to really build on anything consistently and efficiently. And so during this lock-in period, we want to really be able to zoom in on what's going to work for us. So as we go through this period, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I'm working on, but also my process. But I want to invite you to join me during this journey. So really the plan for this lock-in period is that we're not out here trying to save the world, right? In 3 months. I know we would all love to do that, but the reality is that that's just not happening. So what I've decided to do is to really just zoom in and focus on just a few manageable items that I can actually set some clear, realistic goals and be intentional about the strategies that I'm going to be carrying out throughout this period of time. Consistency is definitely going to help you to organize yourself, and it's also going to help to give you that data that you need to ensure that you know which way to go in the future. So I'll give you an example. If I'm testing out here on YouTube what type of response I'm getting from people, or what type of videos that I am doing that's actually getting a response. If I only do it one time, there's really no way for me to know if it was effective. Now, if I do it consistently and I show up in the same way consistently, and then I get a certain level of response, then I know, okay, so these particular things work. Now, if I'm inconsistent with my plan, then there's no way for me to really know which part of what I was doing was not helpful for my audience. It's the same thing for when you're actually putting yourself out there to build your therapy practice. We need to know what's going to work. And the only way that you're going to know what's going to work is if you remain consistent. A 3-month period is enough time for you to be able to gather the data that you need that's going to set you up for planning for the future and also ensure that you're more successful. Now, if you're wondering what I'm planning on doing for the next 3 months, now here it is. My first thing that I'm going to focus on in order to build my therapy practice is in immigration evaluations. Now, over the next 3 months, I'm going to be talking to you about my process and what that looks like, the ups and the downs, the headaches, the great wins. And so if you want more information about that, definitely make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can figure out what's going to work or what might resonate with you in you starting immigration evaluations on your own. Immigration evaluations is something that I've actually been trained in, but it's only now that I've decided to offer this as a service in my therapy practice. Now, the second thing I'm going to work on during this 3-month period is going to be business awareness. Now, when we talk about business awareness, It's not really rocket science. It is making more people aware of your business. Now, for me in particular, I have a goal. I own a group practice and I want to increase the amount of clients that my therapists are receiving. So for me specifically, I'm going to be building awareness, not just for myself, but for the therapists that are in my practice so they can get to a place where they are being fully booked. And lastly, what I'm going to be locking in on for the next 3 months is self-care and taking care of my health. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have been dealing with a medical issue for about 17 years now. Now, you may be surprised by that because a lot of times people meet me and they're like shocked when they find out. But the thing is, and I'm not saying this just because I want any type of sympathy. My point for bringing this up is that despite my medical condition, I still continue to show up in as many ways that I can. Now, you may not be dealing with a medical condition, but maybe you have a family issue, maybe you have a relationship issue, maybe there's some social issues that are going on, or things that you just have to pay attention to. And it might be things that's pretty heavy and that can also cause you to become distracted in your therapy practice. I get it. The truth is that while we are building our therapy practice, life still happens. There's still a lot of ups and downs. There's still people that we care for. There's still things that are happening. And so we want to acknowledge that those things are happening and take care of those things. But at the same time, we don't want it to be an excuse for building our therapy practice and continuing to work on this business. If you think about it, we have many companies out here and you never really hear about all these companies and the personal things that the CEO is going through or whatever the case is. It's because the business still has to run. As we go through the next couple of months, I'm going to share with you some of the systems that I've already used and then also some new systems that I'm going to continue to use in order to continue building my therapy practice. We can make so many excuses about why we should not take care of ourselves while we're still grinding it out and still building our businesses. But what has really been resonating with me recently is that in 10, 15 years down the line, when I'm thinking about my future and even when I'm thinking about retiring, what does that look like if I don't take care of my health now? We can be so focused on taking care of business now, but the reality is that if we don't do what we need to do in terms of our health, whether that's eating healthy, making time for yourself, having breaks for yourself, working out, exercising, and just really taking care of your health, if you don't do those things now, the results and the consequences of that you will see in the future. And the reality has been hitting me so hard recently. And so I have decided that that has to be a part of my lock-in plan for the next 3 months. Now let's talk about your lock-in strategy, especially if you really don't know where to start and you have no idea of what this lock-in strategy should look like for you. Number one, I want you to go to a period of reflection. This means actually taking out a journal or using your computer and typing this up. I want you to really reflect on what you have going well in your therapy practice right now. Just reflecting on the positive things and what is working. Number two, I want you to really look at and analyze your income. This is going to be income awareness. I want you to really think about in your business, what is bringing the most money to your business right now? Sometimes we overlook opportunities that can really be helping us to build our businesses financially and bringing more income in because we're so used to doing the same things all the time. But if you think back to over the last year, where did a lot of your clients come from? Where did a lot of your opportunities, maybe for speaking engagements, come from? I want you to zoom in on those particular things, even if it hasn't been something that you've been doing for a long time. Think about those things and write those things down. That might be a clue as to what you need to really zoom in on in the next 3 months. And with that, you have your opportunity scan. Your opportunity scan is going to be looking at every opportunity and potential that you have with the industry that you're working. Now, I specifically speak to therapists, people that are mental health professionals that are building out therapy practices. So even in your therapy practice, there are so many different things that you can do. So as you're looking at what you enjoy most, as you're looking at where that money is coming from, I want you to really be honest with yourself and really do an assessment of where else you could be making money, what other things you could be doing to really serve your community and serving your ideal client. Then I want you, step 4, to look at your resource check. That's what we're calling this section, resource check. That means look at the people that you know, identify the organizations and the company that you already have access to. Maybe if you know someone that knows another person that works at an agency, or that person you know would have the contact information of a director that works at this company. I want you to start thinking about those things. Let the fear go to the side. Don't worry about trying to reach out to them now. I just want you to go through the process of dreaming and really seeing what opportunities are available to you. Maybe there's even certain skills that you have not tapped into, or maybe there's certain tools that you have not tapped into as well. And lastly, we want to create a realistic plan. We all know about SMART goals. This is your opportunity to set out your SMART goals. After you've gone through this entire process of everything that we've talked about from step 1 to step 4, I now want you to come up with something that is measurable. Make sure that it's a specific goal. Make sure that it's actually attainable, realistic, and make sure it's a goal that you can actually obtain by the end of these 3 months. That means it is time bound. Now that you've identified what you're going to lock in on and you've come up with a strategy on how to actually lock in, remain consistent. Consistency is always going to be key in order to help you to obtain your goal. And during this time, we're not playing around. We're not making excuses, but we will be consistent. Also, don't forget to give yourself some praise. Acknowledge the small steps that you are making, because oftentimes we can just be going through one task after the next task and not really slowing down to appreciate the accomplishments that we are making. So let's make sure that we're doing that as well. This is even an issue that I have myself, because I'm constantly working and grinding it out. But really, I just need to slow down and just pause, because that's when we start to realize that we get burnt out. So I don't want you to get burnt out over the last 3 months. I want you to feel rejuvenated and inspired throughout the next 3 months. So make sure you take it slow, but also give yourself praise throughout. What are you going to do between now and the next 3 months? Let me know in the comments. And lastly, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because every week I'll be giving you lessons from my own journey, including tools and strategies and how we can do this together. And I just want to leave you with this. You don't need to chase every opportunity. You just need to lock in on the right ones. This is our time to build the practices and the lives that we truly love. Take care, Authentic Therapists.